Hello, Lakers Nation. Trevor Lane here, senior writer for LakersNation.com. Today, we're talking all about Lakers versus Nets preseason game 3. I know, it wasn't pretty, but there's still some things that we need to break down from this game so that we can figure out what to take from it moving forward. What can we learn from what happened to the Lakers? Again, Lakers wind up losing 91-77. It was ugly for some long stretches there. Not a great performance, but finally they'll be done. They'll get out of China and come back home. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other things that I noticed during that game. Before we even get into it, though, quick shout out to those of you who got up early and joined me live. We did a live chat while the game was going on, second screen experience on Sportscaster. A lot of fun. We're going to do some of these during the regular season as well. So yeah, hey, credit to all of you who are right there with me, getting up at 4 in the morning to watch Lakers versus Nets in preseason action. First, guys, quick shout out to our sponsor, Uptime Energy Drinks, how energy should feel. Also, how I made it through 2 4:30 a.m. games. You can find them at 7-Eleven, GNC, and Amazon.com. Make sure you guys check those out. All right, so 3 things we learned. First and foremost, Lakers, not surprisingly, are a worse team when LeBron and Anthony Davis are not on the floor. Now, Anthony Davis did sustain a thumb injury. Fortunately, it's sounding like it's just a grade 1 sprain, which based on, I'm not a doctor, but based on the research that I've done, looks like it's fairly possible that he'll be ready for opening night, but it's going to depend on what happens when he gets further scans done when the team gets back from China. So we've got Anthony Davis on scan watch. We're going to see what they find there with his thumb. And then Kyle Kuzma as well. Kyle Kuzma is going to be getting a scan when he gets back on his foot. Had been dealing with that stress issue. Hopefully he'll be ready to go. But fingers crossed because, man, the Lakers dealt with so many injuries last year. And now to be dealing with Anthony Davis with a thumb thing. Hopefully it doesn't bug him too much. Kyle Kuzma losing to DeMarcus Cousins for the season. It's too much. The basketball gods need to leave the Lakers alone as far as injuries go because they got decimated last season. We don't want to see that happen again. But on the floor, Anthony Davis out of the game after that first quarter. LeBron James also didn't play after that. So the Lakers were pretty much going without their top 2 guys from there. And that's where things really broke down. The first quarter, I was actually pretty impressed. I was pleased with the first quarter. And no, they didn't play. It wasn't like they were blowing out Brooklyn or anything like that. In fact, it was 20-19. But defensively, I thought the Lakers made a lot of nice adjustments. I thought they were doing a great job contesting on threes. Danny Green made a number of great defensive plays. Didn't finish with a good game overall, but made some really nice defensive plays that aren't going to show up on the stat sheet. Anthony Davis had one stand on the defensive end where he slid and stayed in front of Karis LeVert, who was absolutely torching other guys like Rajon Rondo. Even Avery Bradley was struggling to deal with him. So Anthony Davis showed his ability, showed his lateral quickness, his defensive skill. Really impressive performance from him on that end of the floor. And so I thought defensively, the Lakers looked like they had fixed a lot of things. And then they just happened to miss some easy shots at the rim in the first quarter, and that kept them from really bumping up their lead. And then from there, things fell apart. Now, the guard play was a real big issue. And if you look at 4 guards in particular, Alex Caruso, Zach Norvell, Danny Green, and Rajon Rondo, a combined 3 for 27 shooting. 3 for 27. That can't happen. That's not going to work. The Lakers are going to need to find a solution there. Now, that doesn't mean that it's always going to be that way, though. This was a poor shooting game. It's just kind of the way things went. Caruso missed a lot of easy ones in the paint, got blocked a few times. Rondo missed only a couple of shots. Zach Norvell, who's a good shooter, wasn't knocking him down. It was a weird game. They just weren't hitting shots. Saw a lot of turnovers. Danny Green's second bad game in a row. Something to keep an eye on. Again, I like some of the things he did defensively, but overall wasn't a great performance from him either. But he's the kind of guy who plays better when he's with good players. So Anthony Davis being out there, LeBron James being out there, that will help raise his game. KCP did hit 5 of 12, so that's not bad, not terrible. He had an okay performance. A few mistakes here and there. Made some nice plays on the defensive end. Saw him hustling there. And Avery Bradley was 6 of 13, but 0 of 4 from 3. And he's got to be able to knock down those threes and stretch the floor if the Lakers are going to use him out there. Starting lineup for the Lakers, they did go small with Anthony Davis at center and LeBron at the 4, along with Rondo, Green, and Avery Bradley. Worked out okay, but again, having Rondo in with the starters, I don't know if that's a great look. Second thing that we can take away from this, besides the poor guard play, JaVale McGee at the center position. He came in for Anthony Davis in the second half, took over at the center spot, did a great job. JaVale had, I mean, look, he didn't play very many minutes, 14 minutes, but 4 of 6 shooting, 9 points, 2 blocks, 3 rebounds, and a number of plays that made you say, wow. In fact, one where he got the ball in the paint, spun, up faked, and then slammed the ball. It was a thunderous dunk, probably the best dunk of the game. Look, the bottom line, what does this mean? JaVale is your starting center. Look, the last 3 games, it's been clear. JaVale McGee is the best center on the Lakers, well, not including Anthony Davis, of course. AD is going to play the 4. That's what he wants to play. That's what the Lakers want him to play. So JaVale McGee has clearly outplayed Dwight Howard, and I don't hate what Dwight Howard has done. I think he's done a decent job in there. Yes, there's some things that you could want a little bit better from Dwight Howard on, but for the most part, he's done a pretty decent job, but JaVale has been that much better. It's very clear he should be the team's starting center right now. No questions about that. Kostas Antetokounmpo also did a nice job. Okay, did pretty well. Again, not a ton of minutes or anything like that, 11 minutes, but 3 of 7 was aggressive out there, knocked in a 3, didn't put up very many other stats, 1 board, 1 steal, but I like the aggressiveness from him. He looked pretty confident on the floor, so that's a good sign. Third takeaway from this game, there's no place like home. It's clear, looking at how disorganized the Lakers were. I don't think that's just like some coaching thing. Not saying that Vogel coached a great game, but it looked like that was a team that was ready to go home. It looked like they were done with being there, being in China. It wasn't an easy situation to be in, given everything that was going on, not even being sure if they were going to play the game at first and everything else that was happening. No media, because they're not allowed to speak to the press, or there were questions about whether or not that was going to happen. It was a weird situation. Okay, all the travel and everything, it makes for some kind of disorganized, disjointed games. Again, I liked what they did in the first quarter. I thought they shored some things up in the first quarter, some things that they had issues with in the previous game against the Nets, and then things kind of fell apart. And then once that happened, you could see the team was just kind of not locked in mentally. And again, that's not a good sign, but given the circumstances, you can kind of give them a pass, and you can understand why they would be dealing with some mental fatigue there. So, no place like home. Lakers are coming back home, going to play the Golden State Warriors in the next preseason game. Hopefully, getting back stateside, getting back to Staples Center, that will help set things right, and we'll see a different version of the Lakers this time around. Probably no Anthony Davis, I'd have to imagine, because no reason to take any chances there, but other than that, we'll see. Hopefully we'll get back maybe a Quinn Cook or someone like that can step in for your Lakers. All right, guys, make sure you follow Lakers Nation on social media, at Lakers Nation on Twitter and Facebook, at Lakers Nation Official on Instagram, and hit subscribe on the Lakers Nation YouTube channel for all of our next videos coming up. We've got all kinds of great stuff planned. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me at Trevor_Lane on Twitter. Until next time, see ya.